roster, and I know that a lot of talent were picking into Falcons on the basis of the simple buff. It hasn't quite worked out for this first series, and I feel like the drag factor might also impact them on this one. I'm going to back VP in terms of this match. It's the much more safer option, yes, but it does make the most sense.
And even in terms of the veto, I can't wait for this to go to a decider. Both teams really enjoy playing Dust 2, and with Mirage and Anubis starting out, I think we're going to get comfortability on the scorelines until we go to that decider.
Well, here's VP's pick to start things off. They're on the T side to get our third series underway against Falcons. One of these two teams will be staying alive for our decider match in a few days' time. The other will be out in last place, and neither team wants to be in that position. VP taking a slow approach, as you would expect in a pistol round.
Yeah, Falcons currently on a 5-game losing streak, Jay. The last time they won a game was against Atox, and now you've got to face off against VP. This is going to be a tough one for them. I know there's a lot of head-to-heads, and I know there's history between the two teams over the last 6 months or so, Jay, but an elimination game and an online tournament, a lot of people will be surprised to see both of these teams here.
Well, Falcons will look to hold the defensive line of their pistols initially. Dupree is going to get forced back with the initial goosh down from one player of the VP side. Damage returning in minimal amounts towards Fame and Flit. Eventually, Dupree is going to get pushed out of position as Fame looks to engage against Martin. Simple has dived in to try and engage at Sandwich. Snappy's going to get a trade back to a 3v3, but that advantage is quickly regained by the Virtus.pro side. Snappy, well known about as well, making tons of noise with that drop down. Good shot on Jane. Not a great adjustment towards Flit, and Norbert's there to adjust on towards Magic. All the same. So, pistol win for Virtus.pro.
Well done from Fame. Falcons have got the idea in what is the pre-retake of putting a lot of pressure on, trying to fight down from stairs, get players dropping into Sandwich, and without Fame's multi-frag, you might have VP struggling to get the bomb down, maybe they have to keep fighting for it, buys more time for the rotation in spawn, and for Snappy to come up con. So, good work from Fame to get 2, and for VP, they eventually work their pistol round to a success.
Now face the force by the Falcons side. I'm expecting VP to, as you mentioned, get comfortable, especially in this first portion of the matchup. They've got that AK on James, and the Galil's out for Fame Electronic, as you would expect. Only one automatic weapon for Falcons on the contrary.
Yeah, the last head-to-head had Dust 2 as a map pick, so I think it's nice to see that we get that as a decider. We go into a comfortability one of Mirage. Fame up against Snappy. Now this 5-7 might get 1, but shouldn't get 2.
Sat inside the smoke, doesn't even get that one, so Norbert, quick mow down on the MAC-10. If you want to provide history as well, Dweg, the series in Belgrade, actually, between VP and Falcons, did also feature a Mirage that went 13-11, so if that history is going to come to the fold here in this map-up, Falcons... they look to try and give another fighting chance. Madden is unable to really get any kills out here with a pistol in mind. As you would expect, the VP Vi is going to overwhelm Falcons. The last 3 players will save their guns because they're more valuable to them in the eco.
And I actually want to ask you, Jay, which team do you think has been more disappointing in recent history? Because I kind of look at VP, and yes, on paper, their roster should be doing a lot better, but they are still doing average. Like, they're not bombing out of tournaments. Yeah, okay, it was a last place at Kelowna. I'll give that one. But then the showdown at Blast Fall, they were able to beat Zero Tenacity, beat Big, lost out to Falcons in the semis, last place in the full groups, but at least in Bet Boom Dacha, they won a series there, made playoffs, like I said, in Pro League, where they were able to beat Falcons and Furia back-to-back. And then even most recently in IEM Rio, they lose what? A best-of-1 versus Mongols. They 2-1 9Z, a local team in a Brazilian event. They then 2-0 Astralis, and then 2-0 Mongols to get into the playoffs, where what? They lose to Na'Vi, who wins the tournament. So I look at VP recently, and I can't be disappointed by their results.
I mean, look, they are still like a top, I think, 15 on the Valve VRS rankings at the moment. So they're obviously doing something well enough in recent competitions to sort of stay within those higher echelons of the, you know, of what they would define like the border between Tier 1 and Tier 2 in that particular regard. So it's in terms of 3, if you look at, like, depending on what you mean by recent history, right? In terms of today, VP's collapse is very concerning, but I think that in the last 3 months, Falcons' general line of form is something that needs to get turned around. Maybe Thunderpick could be the event in which they will turn it around, but it's still very question marks in the air. We need to get this series over Virtus.pro first and foremost to think about that turn in form.
Well, outside of what Bet Boom Dacha, that's the only playoff event that Falcons have had in the last 3 months, and that was beating Bet Boom and 9Z in the groups, and that's it. You're not facing Tier 1 squads to be able to push yourself.
We're facing VP to dish out some damage into round 3. Fame on half. Magisk is trying to try and put the 5-7 at the edge of the smoke, catch Fame off guard. No, Fame's Mac 10 is going to see him first and get the opening advantage, attempting to be some sort of threat for Falcons, but it is a standard 3-0. At least it should be here for VP. Again, these upgrades that were held in from the previous round shouldn't be doing much in terms of forcing out the round itself. They will get the one Mac 10 to full, but should be no more than that.
You've got a couple of lurkers in from mid, but that bomb's diving out of the apartments now. Snappy needs help on rotations. dupreeh is here, but the problem is he's low HP on that MP9. At least Snappy gets one on the bomb site, and it's actually forcing Electronic to maybe back off.
Jalil in Snappy's hands, he doesn't do much more with it. Jame regains the even stance, 3-on-3, Electronics on site. Jame taking a scout shot from Simple spot. The only player on 100 HP for the CT side, and the awkward sprays of Electronic only coming up good against Madden. dupreeh very fast on the turnaround. Simple now on site, gets that shot on flip. Jame is extremely low. Simple could very easily hit this shot, but he just waits and baits for dupreeh to take the peak, and the Falcons to steal their first round.
A very tight round. Now, it does help that you're almost treating that eco similar to a force buy. You've got a lot of upgrades saved in from the previous. You have a lot of time stalling coming out on B. 5-7 at close range out there in the ninja box, not quite being cleared. And then Simple on rotation, just allowing that scout to flow with the bullets. VP will not be happy because that should have been a 3-0 conversion.
But the rifles come out a little extra round earlier than they would have anticipated. Falcons can try and bring back this deficit to a 2-all. Madden trying to engage first against Fame. He takes a lot more of damage initially, but Fame is down, or the 41 all the same. And no early kills for either side, but two players that may be negated as this one goes on. Incendiary doesn't quite get all the way towards flip. Madden can dish out some wallbang damage, and the HEs will chip away even more, but he's still stuck at the 52 and still alive.
I just wanted to try and play around that, but instead gets spammed and HE'd, so probably better to smoke it off. VP have got a couple of players working in from underpass, might attempt a bit of a boost up to look into that sniper's nest area and put pressure on. Falcons know that a follow-up is going to be key, and with Simple's impact with the scout in the last round, let's see what he can now do on the AWP.
His weapon of choice. His second series on the Falcons roster, at least this iteration of Falcons.
We can get an idea of maybe where his strengths lie in the map pool. I mean, that previous series, he was able to play, what, Anubis, play Nuke, and now we're getting a Mirage in there. Then we're going to get a Dust too. So at least you get to see what Simple's going to be like in other maps in the pool for Falcons.
Just seeing what he's like in general. Ring Rust is a key thing. He's been off for a fair while, so I'm expecting great performances immediately. Maybe he might be able to build into it as the tournament rolls on. No kills found early, second shot getting so close to Norba, but without landing that secondary kill, Norba can take dupreeh, eventually find Simple and triple up on Martin. Swing for the Contra, not quite see where Snappy is. He's bought enough breathing room for the bomb plant to go down and for really no more threats to come through from the Falcons side. They've already got a player saving. Snappy will look around for the exits. VP have responded.
A really good punishment for Norbert. You could feel that Simple is struggling on that B bomb site to fight against the apartment's players. And every time he whiffs, the T's just get closer to his position. Norbert not only capitalizes on the AWP kill, but he also spams down that market rotation to get that triple in. Snappy's holding around for an exit, but him and Magis don't have a huge amount of cash. VP with the 3-1, and honestly, Jay, do you know what a conversation I'm really surprised that hasn't been discussed in all of the broadcast? Electronic versus Simple? Why have we not talked about this?
It's a key rivalry, actually. Like, you are correct. In very different stages. Electronic has been active since their time together. Was playing on what is still a top team in spite of the disappointments you might have on Virtus.pro part of it. It's Norba that took the spotlight in this round though. Triple on that B defensive. Easy pickings. And Falcons will need to bolster up a little bit more confidence if they want to try and keep contest against Virtus.pro. They at least have built up the money so they can buy back here. The AK on Magisk. M4s for everyone else. No EWP available for Simple this time. It is available for Jame though.
VP have a lot of players towards top mid, but not as aggressive as they were in the last round. Remember when Flit got out towards those top mid boxes, and that's when he was getting bombarded with the util. So just slowing the round down, not getting into the position straight away. And for VP, I mean, yes, they're a team that like to run the clock and slow play it, but if they consistently are winning gun rounds on this T side, Jay, it doesn't bother me.
Keep stacking them up. Keep working on this lead for the VP camp. Falcons trying to challenge it here with these rifles, and they are going to challenge for map control over a ramp. 4 players total on the A bomb site, so a stack that leaves Snappy all alone towards B, and unfortunately for him, VP may well have that as an option. Madden actually finds Electronic first, so the killing going the way of the CT camp means that VP may now have to put that emphasis on the B site.
Got a lot of Falcons players to A at the moment. One in con, they had a bit of an info search towards A main. Very defensive, Snappy out on B with a rotator to come through from Simple. Now, they don't have a huge amount of util between them. The best that they can hope for, if it is App's contact, is to drop that incendiary.
Puts it there at the 30-second marker, so that stalls things out for VP. They can still go for the execution, but the very last second one, they dive out the window. Norma's going to get picked up. Snappy cannot hold on forever. Fame and Flit have traded back, but Simple still in the back of the site. As Fame gets picked up, it's down to a 3 versus 2 for Falcons, and 2 more CTs are also on the way. They've got to get up this bomb and get it down very soon. Simple challenging, Vin's a fight onto Flit as a double for the man, and James Orp is also overwhelmed by the rifle there. So Falcon do get their second.
A good work from Simple on the bomb side, just to stall for enough time. I thought the entries looked pretty good there for VP. Trading out Snappy, getting a kill from one of the short players coming up on the bomb site, but just not quite capitalizing on that very last player. And another thing to kind of mention is how long it's been since Simple has been on an English-speaking team. We've got to go all the way back to the Liquid days. And even if you just think, oh yeah, MLG Columbus, yeah, that wasn't that many years ago. No, 8 years ago. Time in CS flies so quickly.
Might be one thing the Falcons will, a hurdle they'll have to overcome as future ensues. Those little intricacies of how you communicate. Simple. Back on AWP for this round. Stellar 3K in the previous, but it was with an M4. Big green gun on his part, set towards the back of CT spawn over on the A site. VP are happy to play slow and, again, just play out the defaults. Received nothing of Falcons' contact. Heavy-handed in mid for VP, and no one's there to receive it on the CT side. They won't get their way.
I haven't seen any A walks from VP as of yet. We've got a couple of players out to main, and Norbert, and a little bit of a back-off for Electronics to perhaps recover that bomb. Now, it seems to be an A split. Tees can regain con. You've got Madden quite aggressive with Magis just behind him.
Madden there with Jame and Fame. Flit as well for that matter. They try and engage from beyond the smoke. Madden's good for one. Only the one kill though. Orb shot missing from Simple. Refaces to get Norbert in the end. And double up on Electronic. That's more like it, sir. Flit now left on 35 HP in mid. Caught out away from the bomb without any chance to win the round. Falcons are going to even the board.
Alrighty. Well, it actually looked as if he was going to get capitalized upon again. Missed shot out there from Triple. The spam came up and probably a couple more bullets away through that triple box from falling. And he's in a position where you can't really fall back from CT. You don't have the cover. So you need to keep fighting. You need to have that pedigree to reface and look for more damage. And he's actually come away with a mental couple of kills.
Shades of the old GOAT. The Falcons, a key piece to enable them to now look for the lead. Economy's not great on Virtus.pro. They haven't been able to build it up as steadily as they would have hoped.
I'm going to ask you, Jay, do you think it's important that Simple shows a lot of his top form in the opening few officials, or does it not really matter? Is it just get officials under his belt?
I think he will be a difference maker for the Falcons side in general. In terms of the first few officials, I don't think he's going to hit that top level of form. I mean, that much seems like it's almost a given. Again, bring Rust and all. Not
so much whether he does, but I guess expectation, how you look at everything. I mean, it's a tough group. Well, is it a tough group? I don't know. Maybe it isn't a tough group. It's surprising that you're down here in the elimination game, but in my eyes, I don't look at Falcons as being, at least at the start of the group stage, to get out. I'd probably put VP and 3D Max as my 1 and 2 teams. So, yeah, I don't know. Maybe it is a tough group for them.
I'd agree. I would put VP and 3D Max as our 2 teams to make it out. I didn't have a lot of faith in OG until today. I wasn't certain about Falcons. I think that even if Simple does perform well, the drag factor of the rest of the squad is still something to consider because they haven't been doing well even without Simple in previous months.
You'd put OG as the weakest team in this group, a replacement invite from last night with new players coming in, and they cause a huge upset in their opening game.
Leaving VP up for elimination here against the Falcons. And maybe it could have been a case that Falcons are a little bit miffed about that one. Hold on a thought for a second, because Flit's actually inserted against Dupree. He's not ready for him to have aggressed through the murder hole, so this could end up being a flank on the B bomb site that works well, but he's going to opt to cut rotations to the pistol players. Will work down Snappy. M4 spray does absolutely nothing to them. Finally lines up a couple, but takes a ton of damage. Bomb's being dropped. USP is pulled out. Flit's there against Madden, and James going to overwhelm Snappy. 3-on-2 now for Virtus.pro, and Flit's having a round. A triple found. Simple's up now. Needs a simple round. And focused in by all sides there from Market, challenging the pistol of Electronic, who will force him to retreat back towards Spawn. Flit comes up and pops back through that hole, gets the kill that he requires, and Falcons are returned to once again.
And that is just a mind-boggling round from Flit, because all the round itself is, let's see if he can cut a rotate, maybe get into a strong position, and just look for damage. Instead, it turns into actually a winnable round. They get the opening kill out of B, they get the bomb down, and then Flit is just doing damage after damage. 4 with the hero AK.
Right, time to call in a tactical pause for Falcons, because the beginning of this game has been anything but easy.
Now, something that I was listening to on the casters, Jay, in the previous best of 3 that Falcons played was when tactical pauses were called, we weren't hearing, or at least seeing, Snappy communicate. And I'm looking at the tactical right now, there is silence from the in-game leader.
It looks like Simple was being a bit more vocal there more than anything else. You also have to wonder what Zonic's input is going to be. Can't see him on the cameras, obviously, so maybe it could be a case that he's talking, given that sixth perspective. Falcons down by 1. They've actually been hindered quite heavily by that previous round. Madden's not got a rifle. Flit will continue to be a menace here in mid. Simple was the man to try and challenge on that boost to Dupree. He actually misses the jump, so they don't even bother with it. Just back up towards that B-bomb site. Flit's allowed full reign of mid.
Now, Flit, I'm going to be keeping eyes on him to see, can you actually crack a timing like you did in the last round? How consistently is that possible to maybe get into a window room, get out towards jungle? Unfortunately, a little bit of a missed window smoke means that you'll have to get another one down there or keep the util up, and because of it, the HE placement will come in.
Yeah, Magic's good to tag Electronic and Fame to half HP. Lit caught a little bit of that himself. Electronic eventually will get up on that boost, ready for the looking towards the ladder room window. Magic's going to swing from window itself, and Fame quickly trade back Flit's casualty, but the HEs continue landing. Fame's been tagged even lower now, and Snappy's going to get Electronic. Tried that same flank. It's not going to work twice in a row. Falcons have the man advantage, and now Madden is going to call for support. He can hear footsteps from Connector. He's so wary of that Palace entry from James. Utility pulled out. 5-7 fought upon by Norbert. Is back just sticking outside of the default box. So 3-on-3 ensues. Bombs on site. Norbert is going to get cleaned up for it, though. So man advantage regained by Falcons.
James going to have to win this fight against the CT rotator. Flashback in towards Con, but it's not Fame going aggressive. On low HP, he actually wants to try and back off, and both of them get kills instantly.
Even though James tagged the 2 points of health, I honestly thought I was going to get one out by Simple, but instead, they're pretty on a HP advantage, but down a man in this 1 versus 2. They're both going to form together. Flash is sent in right towards Dupree. He's caught blinded by it. Fame did look up towards the site, but Dupree is going to try and give chase. Seen right there. A flash sent to try and hold them off. Tapping that bomb once. He has not got a kit for this, so eventually he will have to fall away, grab an AK and run for it. Falcons unable to hold their evens. VP extend their lead.
That may be one of the best 2v1s you're going to see all day there, Jay. That timing was impeccable. So notice how James was in Palace, got the kill, backed around from spawn, and rather than Fame giving a dry fight, giving a 1v1 where maybe Dupree can win it, there's a flash that comes over for James, and then even Fame is not looking to fight against the diffuser. Instead, he's just checking the bomb. Is it being stuck all the way? No, it's not being stuck, mate. I don't need to commit to a fight. I can back off. And just the way that you're toying for time, you're running that clock, you're giving Dupree absolutely no window to win that 1v2.
That's full reset for Falcons now. VP are looking to storm right ahead at 6-3. Minimums to be taken for the T side. They know that they're up against USPs. They're just charging right up towards short. Snappy's found in an instant. Do they read Madden? I mean, they've gone for this corner box boost quite a number of times. But yeah, Fame is going to check it. Dupree does get 1 kill out of that AK, but now known here towards Market will be adjusted towards by the T side. Bombs on site will get planted and will not be contested in that plant. Falcons may well look for the exits on the pistol players. They do some decent damage towards Flip, but Again, not to get the kills. Eventually, Dupree will back off and save that rifle.
And this hero rifle hasn't quite got the same level of impact as Flitz did only a few rounds ago. You can bring it into the next round, but you can look at this as a bit of a failure. VP up 6-3, and now I'm even kind of looking back at the rounds that have been won from Falcons. What if that, MP9 and 5-7 round doesn't get won? We're looking at a 7-2 scoreline. VP have looked pretty solid on the T side.
We can no longer lose the T side with it. Falcons. 3 more rounds in their opening half to bring back the scoreline differential. At least they've got an AK available to what will be a full buy-up now. Virtus.pro have been the team that have been slightly more proficient in these rounds here. Yes, the last one was an eco. Held the lead from the start and going to continue to try and extend that right here. Anything more positives? 9-3 is their best case scenario.
Now, Falcons, unfortunately, just don't have the cash to get Simple on the AWP, and after what we've seen from him on the A defenses, maybe that's something that they're missing out on. Norbert with quite a bit of pace, but Electronic to get the opening kill in mids.
Great charge up on Madden. They do run into Dupree with their backs turned. Fitz also going to get caught by that as well. Incendiaries, Molotovs towards Snappy's position, but it lands a bit deep, so it's not going to get spread out to that corner that he holds. They might think their position's completely clear. Simple at the edge of the smoke. Norbert just barely attracting his ire, trying to spray back, trying to get the kill against the man, but no. The GOAT comes up with a returning frag. Fame trying to trade, but it's still down by a player. Now Snappy can reveal his master plan. Master the frag against Fame. It's all on James now. 1 versus 3 with the AWP in his hands. Simple still wearing against him, still looking to push. The backstab of Magis will cut off short as an option, eventually wrap around towards this apartment's backstab. And they've got all the utility they need to keep the AWP suppressed.
Well, I will say it's positive to see a pace changer there for Virtus.pro on a gun round. We're seeing some more aggression from them, trying to get a bit more creative with the change-up. Now, they get the opening kill in from mid, which is quite successful. The problem is backs are turned against the short player, isn't it? Dupree just gets that multi-frag, and it doesn't ruin the round, but it makes it very difficult to recover. What also doesn't help is that Simple doesn't quite drop. You've got just a bit of a window to fight against him on the edge of that smoke. But on 15 points of health he lives, and James' best bet is to push the AWP away and try and see if he can clutch with the AK.
And Simple would be easy pickings at 15 points of health. Snappy is the concern at jail. Game. Dive right into that individual. Simple's going to get caught. Look back towards short. Doesn't check jail. Snappy holds the round together for Falcons. So, a 4th to their board. 8-4 is now the best case for Virtus.pro. You're right about the pace changing. I honestly thought that Electronic was going to steamroll his way through short, but all took a Dane to melt them down.
And I know that we've got a top 4 for this tournament, Jay, to be at LAN, but maybe it is a bit of a wake-up call or perhaps even early preparation for these sort of tier 1.5 teams to say, guys, you're going to be playing quite a bit of online CS next year, so get ready for it. You might have some tough times. Yeah, you might get upset by 3D Max and OG. Oh, wait, that's already happened.
Been a bit of a thing with the tier 1 teams when they come down to the online cups. It oftentimes does actually work against them. A much grander project. Falcons and VP. And even the fact that that VP rather have been knocked to this lower bracket of the of this group might mean that the seedings for the playoffs on the online portions actually might see them against one of those top 4 sort of teams.
Yeah, very true.
So that opening upset that OG have taken has at least thrown things off to a certain theoretical capacity.
I look at VP as being one of the very best teams in the comp, up there with Heroic and Mongols.
Certainly true. Try and bring that greatness to effect here with the set-piece execution towards the A-bomb site. The CTs are all held back behind the smokes, blind spraying and hoping for damage. They've output someone to Norbert and Jane, but nothing that will deny the bomb plan. It is a 5v5 on the retake.
A difficult one to get in for Falcons if a kill's not presenting quickly. You've got a backstab in from spawn of the T perspective, and out from CT, it's a kill, but not quite a double R.
I think Fame wants to see Simple right there, focusing on Norbert. Fame just peeked back to get the trade. KT to 31 points of health, but he's unaffected by it. 3 to his name, and a 3-on-2 for Virtus.pro. The backstab of Dupree, looking for James next up, but doesn't line up the full-blown spray. The AWP connects. Marden's got to back off and save his gun. He will find Flit on the way out of the round. No more time left on this clock. No more chance to go for the defuse. VP will have the half at 7-4.
A good work from Fame. Low HP to refight into CT. Crosshair placement was just immaculate. Straight to the head and a straight bullet that just rains down death. Slows that retake in completely. Falcons, maybe it needs to be discussed about Madden's drop-off in recent games, and a lot of people have been quite critical that he hasn't been performing to the same level that we know of. He's meant to be the star player on Mirage. He's the highest rated player in the last 3 months and 1.18 across the last 9 maps played, and he's down at, what, 4 kills, with one of them just being an exit frag from the last rounds.
He didn't do all that great in that 3D Max series either. Well, right to be concerned for the opening one of this series. James already been dealt with to start things off, as Madden does actually find a HE kills. That's a bit of a start, but peeks right into Electronic on low HP. Fame's going to follow up on Dupree. Norbert got a kill on Simple in the meantime, so no issues for the T side. 4-on-2. They've got plenty of time to play against the Falcons.
I'm convinced that anytime Falcons have tried to aggressively fight for mid, they've just lost everything, haven't they?
That's rung true. 4 players involved in the kill counts as well, so it's not like they're just running into Electronic or someone like that as the forward face when he's mowing through them all. They're all counteracting everything the Falcons are throwing at them.
And it's surprising because you'd think that there'd be an adaptation of maybe retaking mid in a later portion of the round rather than fighting it for it early. VP looked comfortable in that first half. Yeah, there was a couple of hiccups in a few rounds, but if you're looking at consistency, that was a good showing.
8-4 at the turn. Virtus.pro looking a great T-side on their map pick. You mentioned you expected some comfortability out of this. I'm wondering if there's any comfortability for Falcons to return now as they switch to the second half. Not the worst scoreline to bring back, but still not the most comfortable one either.
Well, you wonder how threatening they can be in any map if there's best of 3. I look back at that 3D Max series, only just pushed it to double digits of the 10 rounds on Anubis and then 9 on Nuke. I'm looking at this 8-4 and I'm thinking probably not going to see much of a showing in the second half.
Well, again, just going back in history, the last map of Mirage was a 13-11, so there's theoretically a chance of Falcons, but they have to put the hard yards in right now with a pistol win that may be required. Simple will find Norbert to kick off this round. Flit has got the trade in, but he's also got Madden in the back to support the go. 5-on-3 established. Oh, Kushi's down on all 3 players of Virtus.pro. They now have no choice but to run for it. Save the Kevlar. There's no way you're winning this clutch, and no way you're winning this retake.
The Falcons give themselves a lucky break for now. Get a bit of a positive start here in the second half. Look to prioritize what those gun rounds are going to look like. See if you can be a threat. Opening entries come pretty cleanly against Norbert and Flair.
Now the pistols are just hunting them down. And these should be some pretty easy kills for Magisk. 2 of them to his name. No survival for anyone on Virtus.pro. Falcons will win the second half pistol. And one that can start to bring back this score line to a much more manageable 8-6, 8-7, depending on if VP want to go ahead and force buy in the second round.
We saw some very good Mirage performances out of VP back in IEM Rio. After losing to Mongols on Mirage, they answered back by a 13-2 against 9Z on the map to push themselves into the lower bracket semi, where they went up against Astralis, got another 13-9. Didn't get to play it again, unfortunately, for the rest of the group or the playoff game against Na'Vi. We know that they picked basically Dust 2 and Mirage and nothing else, so to get 2 of those maps in on a best of 3 is a positive outlook. They're not looking to force buy in the second round, keep it very light, look to focus in on getting the rifles early.
And give the Julies over to Electronic. Bolstered up with the Kevlar, of course, for him. Talk about how deadly those Julies can be in the pistol rounds. They've got helmets across the entire Falcons board, so probably shouldn't be too easy for him to get any exits or damage kills in this round. He's pushing in towards ramp to ensure that no one's going to make their way onto the A bomb site. Unfortunately, as soon as they find the information, the B site defenders have got to get sprung into action, and they're playing outside of the bomb site, so from range, the rifles can strike, and there's not really much of a chance to hold off against the bomb plant. Good adjustments there from Magisk. And a 5-on-3, as you would expect.
VP just want to hope to not get farmed up by these SMGs, and Flit's actually getting a couple of kills. So the round is getting slightly expensive because the teams are keep overfighting here.
If they get a 3rd kill and drop one of the AKs, that can make it even better for them. Magisk has got himself the cash out of the Mac 10 at the most, so they have a little bit of a bolster there. VP Probably unlikely to find any more out of this one. They will just check the bomb site to ensure that no one's going to try anything special. This will be number 6 for Falcons as expected. Mat 10 of Simple actually does get another decent kill. However, Fame is able to convert upon that. So casualty taken to 3 overall deaths on the Falcons camp. A very expensive round indeed. And the rifles will return from Virtus.pro.
There's been more coaching staff changes than actual player changes for VP this year. Remember back to, what, April time when Mir got benched and Electronic got brought into the roster. About a month later, you had Datston, who was a long-standing coach with the organization. He parted ways and they brought in Zoma over from Nine Pandas. And then most recently in September, he got benched to promote Pashnoid, who was kind of like an analyst, assistant coach. He's now the head coach of the team.
The Falcons are going very fast into these initial plays here. VP are late to get to the B bomb site, so Simple actually might be able to find a good fight on Electronic. He doesn't want to overextend though. And for into the back corners, 2 AKs potentially to move up here. Smoke start coming down, so they're indicating an early execution. The bomb's out there as well. James has been tagged up on the first spray. Electronic holds his nerve on the site as Simple is picked up. Advantage for Virtus.pro. There's Falcons cancel. They've already got Dupree in the bomb site at the moment down here at the van position. That incendiary is never going to land there towards the back of the bench. Electronic caught off. Dupree turns it into a 4 versus 4, and Snappy takes James back through the smoke. Advantage Falcons. Bomb can get planted here, and you can see VP are already saving.
And Magus is in a perfect position to cut rotations. Now, Fame might not quite catch this timing. It works out at the end. They can opt for the 3v3 save. Falcons, after losing that opening duel, it seems unlikely that they're going to promote too much more success for the rest of the round. But it was that scale and that just walk around the bench, not being pre-aimed by Electronic. It took the Dane just one good bullet from Dupree, as well as a spam from Snappy to open up the bomb site and give Falcons a 7th.
It looks so awkward as well, because Dupree was initially the only player that committed out of the apartments, and they had to cancel. Then he would have had a very hard time getting back in there.
Definitely.
The decision was made. They do find success with it, and that's positives, of course, for Falcons. Another 7 on the board, and only within 1 of VP. And very characteristic that even in the 3-on-3, they go for the save. It was called so early. They don't have kits either for them, so keep the rifles you can afford to buy in the next with that support.
Yeah, they were also nowhere in retaking positions. They weren't in market. They weren't out in mid. No one was backstabbing in the apartments. They were basically all on the A bomb site. The Falcons would love to be able to get a bit of an upset on Mirage because it's been a map that's weak in the pool as of late. 3 losses in a row for them. They've only got 3 wins and 6 losses in the last 3 months on HLTV, giving it one of the weakest map win percentages out of any map in the pool for them.
Straight in for Flit. Snappy has just been mowed right through. 4 points of health for the man, so it's not the most cleanest of fights for VP's early game. Simple now looking his way out towards the A-bomb site from Palace. He engages 1 and 2 players. James just trying to make sure he doesn't really open the bomb site up, but Magic is there with extra support, so VP holding back, protecting the man advantage above all else. Falcons will look to try and commit. They've left that bomb in mid, though.
And someone's going to have to go back for it, but they want to try and capitalize on this space, and they want to put pressure on the jungle.
Electronic fights on Dupree, takes him. HE sent as well. Madden's going to get found by Fame before it even explodes, so now they're down to 2 players on Falcons. Still no trades to gain here. Magic even baited. Simple's known towards Palace. HEs can continue to chip away at their HP bars, but they're being returned so nicely by Falcons, and Electronic's just going to swing in and get the kill. Simple in a 1 versus 5. The bomb's been discovered as well. Norbert will also discover where the last player is, so VP can adjust accordingly.
It didn't help that they lost that mid-fight almost instantly. As soon as Fame tries to peek out from that aggressive con stance, everything falls apart. Simple can look for a couple of exits to make the round expensive, but Virtus.pro are going to be up to 9.
One more fight can get isolated on James, who swings into mid, gives Simple a triple. 23 seconds for him, though, to continue to commit. He's going to make his way in towards Connector, making noise as well, so the CTs are aware that he's now close. Looks for the 4th player, sees him, burst fire of the shoulder, back now, turn towards Electronic. Good bait and switch between him and Fame. Electronic with a triple in the round, and VP get their second half start.
Definitely some overfighting there for VP unnecessarily, and it does hurt their economy towards the tail end of the round. Would have been lovely to hold on to mass AKs, 4 alive, start building up that bank on the CT side to give yourself a round streak. but not to be. Slightly expensive. The Falcons, though, you'd have to say, as soon as the next rifle round comes in, not the best of follow-ups by them.
Tacticals called in as a result. Need to figure out the general approach towards not only that buyer, but also future endeavors, because VP are starting to close in on the map win.
Well, I'm going to ask you in a time period, Jay, how long can we give this Falcons roster to say, right, results are necessary? Is it end of the year? Is it moving into next year? How do you judge it?
Well, the problem is that obviously there's a lot of rumors around Falcons and their future and who's going to be joining them in the near future. So it's hard to say for this particular roster because it might not even stick around past the new year. I don't want to put any major expectations on them when they could very quickly change.
It's just difficult with the players they've got to just keep giving excuses of time.
It is true. Well, for now, Flash missed out for Fame. Peeks in anyway to Madden's part. James can trade it, so keep control for the time being. Have to back off soon enough because he knows there's a major threat there at ramp. Madden with the initial kill. 4v4 for Falcons to slow it down.
VP have actually done well because that could have very much hurt them in missed utility. Now, Simple gets a slight timing on Norbert aggressing out to the apartments, but there's not a huge amount of pressure there. Norbert can back off. He's not being swung upon. He's not asking for too much more resources in terms of rotations. Falcons have got all of this space towards mid and pretty much granted for free. No one in con, no one short, no one window room here.
Grays of Madden going to get Electronic in the end. Flit challenged heavily, still turns back on Snappy. Simple continues to make his way up, looking towards that bomb site where the last player of the defensive holds his nerve. It's more players back behind B. James considering to find rotation positions at the market doorway, but not going to commit fully towards that A bomb site. 35 seconds, and Falcons also have that bomb on short, so they can try and commit here.
Simple's just distracting to A. Just that single flash to force a bit of an over-rotate. Now, James is not really leaving. He's actually just holding the murder hole by the looks of it deep in marker.
I think he might have heard footsteps. They're coming in now. Molotov's flashes sent in. So now two players hold the defensive line. Norbert has got to be wary because he's low HP. He does damage onto Madden. And James gets caught looking the wrong way at the wrong time. Simple finds him. And Falcons find 8.
It's a very long time since we've seen a pure impact round come through from Madden, but he was the one to work the kills towards short in that A bomb side and also get that entry that helps put that bomb down on B. Gets a triple in the end. Virtus.pro had a 4v4 and thought that they were in a pretty good position there, but instead lose the B bomb side, lose their number 8. Now, this could get quite close to a tied up scoreline, or maybe even Falcons pushing for the win.
Oh, you were questioning how much of a threat they could generate on this map, and we're starting to see a little bit more of that potential. Back down by 1 against VP. One more to make up against the opposition. The Bi-State didn't have a lot of savings available to them. I don't imagine VP are going to have a massive amount here outside of the save weapon. So you are pretty much correct about at least giving the idea that Falcons can turn this into an even stance. The AK of Flit indeed will be mostly unsupported.
And I'm sure if you're OG, you're really hoping that you can push for that upset against 3D Max, because you don't want a rematch against the likes of VP, and you don't also want to be playing Falcons in that decider. Either way that it goes, you have to be prioritizing the victory for first seed in the group.
For these two teams, it's all about survival. No need to prioritize high placements, just stay alive here in Group A. Nice nades on Snappy to kick things off in the HEs against from VP. More damage potential in that utility base. Flitz AK still hungry for its kill. And now here towards the A defensive, it's the right call to make because that's where all Falcons are leaning towards, yet to commit.
Appy gets that open up. Just a slight timing as he works one of those A kills from Fame. They still don't know exactly where the hero rifle is, though.
I'm not going to give it away just yet either. Flitz hoping to isolate one player in mid. He may well get his wish. Madden and Simple going to peek together. Oh, quick mode down from Flit. Nice and easy. Simple also gets found by Electronic, and now he's got to back away. Can't get to that rifle, though, and the T's know that he's in a corner, basically. All he can do is peek in, hope for another headshot. Snappy doesn't quite give it up to him either. Teammates coming in from the back lines. James actually goes undetected until the very last moment. Norbert doing damage as well, but not quite enough. 2 versus 2. Magic and Dupree hold it all together. And Falcons will finally get back within evens of VP.
Yeah, we only got a bit of a split-second POV from Norbert in spawn, but that looked like a whiff, didn't it? That looked as if that should have been at least 1 kill to either the close triple player or the second player that was slightly further back at default. Could that have been a missed opportunity? Could that have been 1 kill and a round still there for VP?
It's quite possible. They've done damage to Falcons, though. For a hero rifle setup, the economy state to get knocked down to a reset at this stage would be everything to Virtus.pro, so... going up towards the ending stages of this game. Round 19 out of 24. For the lead. Virtus.pro. Initial prods towards ramp. But Fame does not want to overextend. He's aware that Falcons may have a player here. Not a commitment to the A site, though.
And this is actually similar signs to the Ancient performance that we saw from VP against OG. A 9-2 score at one point, and then lose the map in regulation. Don't quite close, don't get it over the line. Could this 8-4 just have been wasted?
Bite from Simple, tagged up more heavily than Jane was. The leg shot of the AWP, good. Flip with 2 kills on Snappy and Madden, and now he's got to get out of there in con because he's low HP. 5 on 3, runs right into Dupree. Jane now close quarters against the AK, ready to receive the man, but needs to pull the trigger so quickly. Electronic has come in with that support. Out from the ladder room, it's down to 2 players of Falcons. 1 from ramp, 1 from mid, now just from ramp. Magic's all alone, as VP have methodically picked their opposition apart.
And that's everything you want as an in-game leader. You're trapped out there in jungle. You've got a very difficult shot to hit against Dupree at close range. And both your riflers step up with multi-frags. You have Flit and Con that gets 2. Electronic goes out to ladder and gets that first one, drops back down and gets another one towards short. And good work from Electronic and Flit, and that's the round breaker that gets the double digits over.
Magic's needing to hold on to this rifle. VP up to, as you mentioned, 10 on the board. And we're just about defending that lead. The rifle being valuable to them because money's not 100% there here for the T side. 1,700 bucks on one man. He certainly is going to have some difficulties in the buy strategies. What will they try and bring out?
Clean there from Flip. Let's see what the second kill looked like from Electronic. Oh, your low HP player down on the bench there for Simple. A bit of an easy one. And 1 round the difference. And the buyback from Falcons looks okay. Doesn't look fantastic. You've got a Tech 9 down for Madden, a Galil out, and a lack of util across the board.
This might get a bit messy.
Now, this could be the ticket to what, the at least 12-9 score.
A map point for Virtus.pro maybe calling Falcons. Okay, I thought Fame hit that shot. It was James instead with the AWP support. Magic's going down and out very early. Madden now moving on towards the window. Pixels only just barely available. The smoke fades. Oh, James unscoped and couldn't get Dupree there. Meanwhile, the CTs have taken the apartments and Falcons will have to adjust against them.
Well, at least they didn't miss that flash play into main like they did previously. Opening man advantage is giving a lot of info because the Ts have basically been trapped out of the apartments because of that deeper re-smoke, and they've also given info on 2 players in mid. So this is a very easy read from VP right now.
Electronics backing away. Norbert still holds the corner play. Nades up. Flash coming in, Norbert's had away from it. Second one comes out, he evades it, sprays through on 2. Dupree can trade Flit on short as they try to continue with a split play anyway. Simple, however, will drop with the bomb. And Dupree, well known about Electronics, going to adjust, get that quick burst of the headshot. And that is VP with everything that they wanted. The second stage of lost bonus for Falcons. No money left in the tank, so that point is certainly calling for the favorites.
And if anyone would ask me, Jay, how important is repositioning and movement in CS, I'd say watch this round and find out. That is a great turn from Norbert, but then to just strafe out to the right-hand side, and because he's protected by the wall, he can give himself a fight and still not get blind. That's pure perfection, isn't it?
Yeah, what a man. What a move. Virtus.pro. Two rounds away from taking Mirage. Falcons going down to the Deagles for a couple of players, but this is an eco. They're going to try and play for overtime.
And is this where we maybe look at the numbers and say who's going to step up in performance for the key few rifle rounds at the tail end of this second half of Falcons? You've had Simple that's had a decent showing, but what about Madden on 9 kills? What about Magus on 8, Snappy on 12, Dupree on 10? Who's going to be that backup dancer?
And this is what I was saying earlier as well. Even if Simple does perform, I was worried about drag factor for the other players on the Falcons side. Certainly been the case. Our stars have not shone. No one's shining here in this round. Falcons now got 3 in a row to make up. 12-9 VP, locking in map points, and they'll face the bye one last time.
Even Simple hasn't been generating round victories since probably the first half. That multi-frag that he had on the AWP from back triple, and the multi-frag that he had with the M4 back on B. Outside of that, we've seen the odd pick here or there, but not leading to threatening rounds, not leading to the victories to push that scoreline more in favor of Falcons.
Third tactical called in for the Falcons side. Dead out of time to make this map work. They are going to need to turn it all back. Again, 3 needed to be recovered. That's just for the overtime stance. How are they going to get there? That is the question on our minds. That is the question on the minds of the players themselves. And still not the best buys in the world for them. Snappy down to a Galil to support the utility, which is still in limited supply. James Orp towards mid, Incendiary with Flit support as well, peeking forward, spotting Dupree. It's Flit able to connect the kill, the Orp didn't. Flashbangs are still taken directly to the face, but he hides inside that smoke. James there with his kill on Mud, and Simple being heard. Flit wrapping in against the player. Is he going to find him? Not quite, but James still fragging. Finally, Flit gets his chance to strike, and Falcons have been mowed down by Virtus.pro. A confident round to close out the map up and start things off in the best of 3 with a win on Mirage. 13-9. Good stuff for the map pick.
And it's exactly what they needed. Now, there's no denying, Jay, that there were moments that we thought maybe they